Chief Patient Officer at the American Cancer Society, Dr. Arif Kamal. We wanted to pick your brain on this a little bit more, so thanks for being here. Can you first just walk us through what goes into an investigation like this?
Well, several things. So first is, as you heard, there is separating the malignant brain tumors from the benign or non-malignant brain tumors. Because what we understand is that for non-malignant brain tumors, oftentimes those are related within families. They can be familial clusters. So understanding how much of this is really familial related, if any, versus sort of not and sort of sporadic or potentially attributed to the environment is a good place to start. The other thing is also looking at age at which the diagnoses occurred. We know that the rate of a new diagnosis for brain tumors, particularly in younger people, high school students and younger teachers, is lower than over time. So, for example, the older people get, the higher their risk of brain tumor goes as well. So understanding the relationship and the age will help us really understand whether this is related to an exposure that happened potentially in the high school itself, or this is just a natural cluster that happened over time within the geographic area.
Now, you say the rate of primary brain tumors is higher than what you would expect over that period of time, and certainly from a town or a high school of that size. How concerning is that, and have you seen this before?
Yeah, so we haven't seen it much before. It's concerning to me because, if you just did some back of the envelope math, what you would say is somewhere between 6 and 10 people per 100,000 should be diagnosed in the United States. And that prevalence or that incidence rate has not changed much over the past 30 years. In fact, there's not a rising rate of brain tumors happening in the country. So if you take that, you'd have to, if you work backwards, figure out that there have to be at least a couple 100,000 students that have gone through that high school to get to this rate. And because that doesn't make sense, we start to see that, in fact, it's much, much higher than we would expect it to be.
Now, there was a New Jersey task force in 2004 that investigated cancer clusters. What were the big takeaways there, and could that help with this new investigation?
Yeah, well, I think, the evolving science about environmental exposures is really important here. For example, in brain tumors, what we understand is that ionizing radiation, particularly from CT scans and health things, and certainly from, radiation accidents, can certainly lead to higher rates of brain cancer. What we don't know is what are all the other environmental exposures that we can rule out definitively. And that's the type of evidence base that has certainly come a long way since 2004 and something we have to continue learning from.
And so what's your quick advice to people living in this area?
Well, don't panic. First and foremost, I think it's important to recognize that brain tumors do take years to grow, and that the exposures will, whatever they are, tend to also be over a period of time. I would not advise for everyone running out and getting a CT scan of their head or anything like that. But certainly if they're having, really terrible headaches or changes in vision or other things that are sort of neurologically complex, to talk to their clinicians about that. But for right now, I think we should all just trust the process in terms of going through the investigation and seeing what we find.
All right, Dr. Arif Kamal, great to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.